Hello, folks. Good evening. Welcome. It's a Friday in the land, and so we must go out to you. Journalist Hangout welcomes you. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Today on the program, Appeal Court sacks Senator Dino Melaye, orders fresh election in Kogi West. Senate President Lawan warns ministers and others against failing to defend budget. First Lady Aisha Buhari calls for urgent action to protect girl child against abuse, just as Murik urges federal government to, move to rescue remaining Chibok girls. And later on, this one, Army rescues kidnapped Kaduna students as gunmen strike again in Kaduna school, in a Kaduna school, kidnaps principal. Let's say I'm hanging out for the moment with Kolade, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Jide, I greet you. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yeah, we expect our colleagues to join us any moment now. So that's the program. The team will be ready. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing Charles Ideho. They're making him up. He should join us in 10, 20, 30 seconds. So the team is almost ready. I hope you are ready too. So let's go. All right, then, quickly, let me welcome Charles. He's now on set. Charles, I greet you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We'll talk later about the traffic.
No, we're not even talking about it.
It's okay.
We're not talking about it.
All right, let's go right away. You know, Senator Dino Melaye is in the news. I'm sure you're wondering what for. The tribunal, the appeal court, has quashed his election. The Kogi West senator lost at the appeal court, and that's interesting. So what next? Jide, Senator Dino Melaye says he's a good man now, he's a good boy now. His supporters should stick with him. A rerun has been ordered, and so it's about adjustments and readjustments and so on.
Yeah, it's about preparing for the election. He obviously thought he would not need to face Smart Adeyemi in a fresh election. But the appeal court has said, no, go back and do a fresh election. So he has to be ready to contest the election. And the truth is, if Yabelo wins the election in Kogi, because it's 90 days, this election, this fresh election must happen within 90 days. If Yabelo wins the governorship election,
for a second time,
it will be very difficult for Dino, if not impossible for Dino, to come back, because clearly the system, in inverted commas, does not want him to win the election. The system doesn't want him in that Senate, you know. So the Yorubas will say, "Awaye on fair."
The world people don't like
the people, world people, don't like him, you know. So we Awaye on fair. Now the Awaye are the people that I'm referring to as the word or the system.
So this world in this case is narrowed down to Kogi West or to Kogi as a whole.
No, as the governor of a state, everywhere is his consistency. So he can afford to use the resources at his disposal to stop his enemy from winning any election in any constituency. But the truth is, Dino has to be ready for it. I think that if the election is free and fair, Dino will win again. The last election, out of 7 local governments, Dino defeated Smart Adeyemi in 6.
Wow.
So he is not as popular as Dino. This is a fact. That is where I come from. And I still went home.
That's where he used to come from. Jones?
That is where I come from. No. When we are talking about the bigger picture,
yes.
Then when we are mentioning the state, I talk about Ekiti State. I said,
now you they draw the picture, but it's all right.
You know, so the truth is, that is the land of my birth.
Okay.
I've chosen now to see myself as someone who has come from Kaudefayemi State. And I have no apologies to offer anyone for this. It will stay like that unless things change for good for my people. Yeah. So I'm saying that Dino defeated Smart Adeyemi in 6 out of the 7 local governments. Yeah. Now, when Fayemi went, when Smart Adeyemi went to court, Smart Adeyemi asked the court to cancel election in 6
local governments.
The court has now, as Father Christmas, in inverted commas, going against what Justice Nekitobi said, has now said, okay, you asked for election, we cancel in 6 local governments, we are cancelling everything. The court has given what neither of the parties asked for.
So there's a clean slate now.
Yes. The court has granted what neither of the parties asked for. And if you ask me, the only reason they gave was that the date on Form ECO 8 is 25th of February instead of 23rd of February. That is their reason for saying, no, go and do a fresh election. And this reason looks strange to me because it is an error of the INEC official. So should you punish the electorate and the winner of an election because they didn't impute the right dates? What if, and that was the case, the dates on the forms for the polling centers was 23rd. So all that needed to be done was to find out if the results tallied. That is in respect of the polling units, because an election is a process.
You and I know that the law does not speak that way.
That's why. No, sometimes it speaks that way.
Sometimes when you create a doubt in the mind of a judge,
it depends on who is the judge.
Okay.
It depends on who is the judge. Don't forget, at the lower tribunal, this judgment that was read today was less than 4 pages. And in 10 minutes, everybody was done. Whereas the minority judgment at the lower tribunal was 79 pages. Things happen in our country. The Hausa man will say, Monga abon mamaki. We've seen something strange. But let's leave it at that. Let's these two regular customers, let them go and contest on the battlefield.
It reminds me, Charles, of what Zebediah said years ago. He said, my Hausa is very, very poor. Ruwan Safi, Shile Manga, Nirogu. Say Garino, they obey last order unless you see hot water. So, fresh slate, the 2 combatants are going for the rerun. What do you see?
Well, today I looked at Dino's tweets. He's already celebrating his victory in advance. Just didn't say he has beaten before. He's good.
But are you surprised?
And I'm not surprised because he knows where his strength lies. He says he has beaten them before. He didn't mention names. He has beaten them before. He will still beat them again.
No, he's combining them.
No, but when he said, after meeting the president, I'm now a good boy.
Yes, he said good boy. Good boy in all respect.
The good boy has it anything directly or indirectly to do with the election?
Generally, good boy. No, first of all, his good boy
in the Senate.
His good boyism, if you allow that word.
No, take it.
Has to do with his conduct generally, both in the polity and in the chambers. Okay, because he has been seen as one of the voices that have been against the government.
Gadfly,
Yes. So, but having said that, I think if we let the feed be plain as it should be, because when he defeated Sam Adeyemi, he scored over about 85,000 votes and more. Sam Adeyemi was about 66 something.
85,395 to 66,901.
If I remember that. So you see the gap is quite huge. And the grouse against what's his name? Not Fayemi. What's his name? Adeyemi over there is that the politics he plays there is too elitist.
Okay.
But so they wanted somebody who is more grassroots.
No, don't tell Jude that his former state, in quotes, if you will.
No, but I'm telling you, we're looking at no. Sam Adeyemi is too elitist. In his politics.
Sam is, smart now.
Smart. Smart Adeyemi.
The other one is a pastor.
Smart Adeyemi. I've never met
Is he on a high horse?
Yes, because the access to him is not easy. But the other one, the Dino himself, makes himself available, and he even plays draft.
True songs.
He plays that he joins everybody
that's
to go
a given, because Dino came from the house. He's been there right from the beginning.
No, but I'm telling you, I'm just telling you the conjecture.
Smart is coming late into the fray.
So, but having said that, I think there are a lot of factors that may do Dino in. The Lokoja factor. He and the governor, there's no love lost between them, which of course you hold on one hand. The other hand is that Smart Ademi also was very smart by now joining forces with the governor of the state. So if, as you said, since the election of the state is going to precede that election, if he wins, as he said, it's going to be two forces joining together to ensure that he doesn't come back. And even his colleagues, some of his colleagues, even at the Senate, might also be happy that he doesn't come back. So what this is going to teach us, that once the politics, there's a way to play politics that even though that you are who you are, but find a what do I say now, a line. You have to find a middle course. Don't be too extreme, and don't be too. So that's exactly what Exane is playing against Dino for now.
Jide, and populism or being popular is not necessarily a given in politics, especially in our climate. Anything can change anytime.
Anytime, yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you are popular and you are not allowed to win. So it happens.
Oh, not allowed to win.
Yeah, sometimes you are popular and you are not allowed to win.
You want to underline
because
that?
The thing is, because we've never been able to blot out rigging from our political system. Rigging is alive and well. And your challenge then is to show the court that, look, rigging did take place. But from what we see, it's extremely difficult now, although this appeals tribunal also went against the norm, because Smart produced only 3 witnesses, yet he got justice, whereas he got judgment in his favor. Yeah. Whereas from the Supreme Court judgment,
precedents,
that went in favor of Wike, you must provide evidence of rigging from polling unit to polling unit. Yeah. But what do we have? Smart provided just 3 witnesses himself, his campaign coordinator, and one other person, and they got it. So the point that I'm making is that increasingly, rigging is becoming difficult to prove. This might be an exception.
Rigging but by all parties.
Yes, all parties are guilty. I do not leave out anyone. Yeah. Now, judging by the plethora of cases that have been decided in the last 2 weeks or so, you will see that the parties that won the election also carried the day at the tribunal. It's difficult these days to, once you fail to win the election proper.
Convincingly.
Once you fail to win the election proper, you are going to find it almost impossible to win at the level of the courts. It happened even with the appeal court ruling in favor of Buhari.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Because Atiku came with about 69 or so witnesses, yet they were not enough to prove that across the country, rigging actually...
Okay, all right then. So the debate must continue. Is the fly in the ointment rigging? Let the debate continue, but Dino Melaye keeps remaining in the news and talk about Smart Adeyemi as a newsman. So it's a battle royale ahead. Okay then, let's go to our next story. You know, in our country, the budget is told where to go, but we then wonder why it went somewhere else. The 2020 budget is about to go the way of most Nigerians, at least for once. That is getting passed before year's end. Senate President Ahmed Lawan has read the Riot Act to ministers and heads of government parastatals and agencies. The number 3 man says any official who fails to defend his financial plans for the next 1 year by 31st of October would lose the opportunity of doing so. You know, with 20 days to go, will the 2020 budget go the way of all Nigerians?
What we want to see is a thorough job done. I've looked at the budget document. I think that there is so much work left undone. I think that changes have to be made. I don't think it makes sense for us to have the budgets of health and education combined lower than what's budgeted for the National Assembly. I'm afraid we have to make them scapegoats. I don't think that Fashola, which is more than 500 projects, I don't think that it got enough, no matter what people may say.
262.
I don't think that it got enough because we really have to focus on infrastructure. And if we do not vote so much to infrastructure,
considering the deficit.
Yes, it's unfortunate. Capital is taking the back seat at the expense of recurrent. Yeah. It's not the way to sustainable growth. Yeah. It's not the way to sustainable growth. What we want to see is for the National Assembly to do a thorough job. It shouldn't just be what the ministers bring before them. It's your job to take a good look at what's been presented before you and actually say, well, in this case, we are not going to give you up to this amount, or you can even say we are giving you much more. We think that you have a lot more to do, so we are giving you much more than you have asked for. So they have the wisdom to do that. They are empowered to do that by the Constitution. But every minister, every heads of ministries, departments, and agencies must be ready to defend his budget. One of the reasons budgets get delayed, passage of budgets get delayed in our country, is because these people also do not show up in good time. I remember that the president had to...
Deliberately?
I don't know. Maybe out of laziness, I don't know what the problem is. But they also don't go to present their budget in time. But most of the time, we blame the National Assembly, we accuse them of delay. But the president, this last time, had to give the ministers a marching order that they should go and present their budget within a stipulated time. So this is the thing, and I'm sure that's what Lawan is saying. Don't waste our time. We've set out on a mission to finish this thing before the end of the year. So don't waste our time. Come and defend your budget. You must be there to defend your budget.
Yeah.
So this is the thing.
Charles, you know, nothing lasts forever. So if we are looking at a December date, possibly December 31st date for work on the 2020 budget to be concluded. Over and done with, concluded, then you would say, are we charting a new course? Are we charting, is this new course we are talking about? That's given that all parties, the ministers and government agency heads and so on, will play ball.
Yeah. Well, charting a new course depends on what course you are referring to. Because
pass the budget in time, and so there will be little or no excuses.
Well, see, the thing is that even when you get into the financial year of the organized private sector, they usually don't have problem with December, January, or January, December. Because if your financial year starts in March, it means that you start counting your year from that March. So my problem is whether
as I understand, it's January.
Yeah, that's something. It's customarily. That's okay. We were growing up in those days, even though during the military era. You know, we were used to hearing that December 31st, the head of state will come on TVNT as it was then. We read the budget to our hearing. We knew that then from January 1, January 2, then the implementation starts. But what I'm saying first is that what we need to be looking at is not whether it's going to be January or December, is that all the time frame they have fixed, let all that is concerned, let all the MDAs, let all the ministries, all of them look at it as a matter of importance to visit that house. Let it, because for instance, if GD as the head of a team And I submit to him. I say, okay, Jide, this is what I'm going to be needing for my office. I'm going to be needing about 100,000 naira, for instance. And I need to defend my budget to say, this is what I'm going to do, and put overheads in those things, put subhead and all of that.
Yeah.
But when you just submit your budget, this is the budget allocation, this is the appropriation for my ministry, nobody knows what goes where. If it's okay, this is what's going for stationary, come and defend it. As Jide said, it might even be lucky, not let me use lucky. It might even be that once you get there, what you have even allocated may not even be enough when you look at it. So I think when they get in there, and the Senate must stand their ground, and so that we're able to benchmark it, that every time after the appropriation have been presented, every party concerned must face the whatever committee.
But we heard before now that when it comes to oversight functions,
yes.
Something will exchange hands and so on.
It may not be with this current Senate. I'm not saying there's righteousness in their midst anyway, but because the way they are going, sometimes they talk to us, sometimes they even act what they are saying. Whatever they say, they act it out. I'm not too sure that it might be business as usual with this ninth Senate. I want to believe that, as you said, charting a new course will also mean that they also will not also play to the gallery when it has to do with people parting with something for them to do a job that they have the duty to do.
Jide, the short term in your opening salvo is this thing about getting this thing passed in good time, blah, 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 so work can start. But there's also this element of this Nigerian way of doing things. There's the ninth Senate wants to be a far cry from what we have had in the past. Do you trust them?
I need
Or
time.
can you trust the ninth Assembly?
At this stage, no. I need time to build my trust in them. I don't think I can just readily trust them. I need time. They've not done anything extraordinary since they've been there. They may have good intentions, but I want to see them show us, because they have come across like they are not going to be adversarial like previous, that they want to work with the executive so that Nigeria can achieve real progress. They are not going to be fighting, no dogfight with the executive. They want to really cooperate. And that's why I was pleased when those service chiefs stayed away from a meeting that the House of Reps invited them.
Yeah.
The Speaker had to say, look, if this continues, we will have to report to the President. This must not happen. If we invite you, you must show up. Yeah. And they eventually showed up, because the danger in that kind of action is that the National Assembly could then turn against
and
if
you like,
military.
turn the tables.
Yes, and you don't then get what you ought to get easily.
Sorry.
So
we have company, I'm sorry.
No, let me just...
Okay.
So what I'm saying is with time. What I'm saying is that with time, we will see their sincerity. These are early days. Let's even see the way they address the matter of this budget. The honesty, the hard work that they put into it. That is what will build my trust in them.
And confidence
ultimately, yes,
in the polity. Isa is here with us. Isa, you are here in Lagos. Good evening to you.
Thank you. Good evening for giving me.
Yeah, let's go, sir.
Once again. Babajide, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I want to thank you for your uprightness, because in this country it's not easy to speak the truth again. I'm speaking with respect to the election in Kogi State and Dino Melaye. You see, judiciary has become another.
Sir, Isa, time is the master on this program. Yes, even if in passing, the budget is equally as important. The budget, this is key. Go to the budget.
Okay, right. If I may speak on the issue of budget now, if you are budgeting money for the Ministry of Works, which Fashola is heading today, we have all the road in Nigeria has collapsed. Go to our schools, the infrastructure has collapsed. So if you are budgeting less money to infrastructure, are we really ready for development? And which country will progress without road? Even during the time of Jesus Christ, 2,000 years ago, they create road for themselves. And in this era, Nigeria does not have road.
Okay,
well done, sir.
It's a matter of choices, Charles.
Yes.
The choices we make would go a long way in reinforcing Jude's faith in the Ninth Assembly. Their primary job is to make laws that will make for a smooth running of the polity and
yes,
so on.
Exactly.
Now, the budget is...
Yes, but he said he doesn't have faith, but I said I have a modicum of faith in them because so far, so good by my estimation. Number one thing that we're not beginning to see that militancy in them, which seemed to me that we're going to have a total departure from the past. But having said that, as the man who called Naisa, I suppose, said, look, that's why it is very important for all these ministries or ministers to defend this budget. It might be that even after they have gone there, they examine, they access the whole thing. Yeah. They also look at exactly that even the 262 billion that have been allocated to works may not even be enough. So it might be attracting maybe a jack-up for them to say, okay, this is what is needed. Yeah. For instance, look at so many roads, but the Lagos-Ibadan road now, you see, that one requires urgent attention. Look at the volume of traffic on that road.
You know, a child who was born in 1999, Jide and Charles,
exactly,
when the road,
on that road
would have graduated by now, and the road is still not
look
fixed.
Although I went to Benin 2 weeks ago, I saw that there are portions that the Sukuk bond. They deployed that, and actually where Macadamized Road, a portion of the road.
Macadamized.
Okay, well,
that's where, from the.
Okay, good, getting better anyway. So, but we will need all because everywhere the one between Onitsha and Enugu, that one is crying for attention. Yeah. So,
a bus got burnt the other day.
Okay, what about the one I used to enjoy? Driving between Benin and Warri, but that's a no-go area for now for people who enjoy a good driving. Yeah. It's a sore point on that corridor.
I hear people going to Warri are now worried about the
anyway, thank you.
So going to Ekpoma too. Just as
I told you, okay, on the morning show I mentioned it. Oh, yeah. That if I was in Ekpoma, we left about 6:30. We didn't arrive Benin until around close to 10 p.m. And no vehicle trailed us. We're the only ones on the road because of how bad it is. And all our house was in a mouth because of the kidnapping and all that. But if, for instance, Fashola and his men, they go over there, defend it, then let the job start so that we can begin to enjoy good ride. Yeah. Driving is supposed to be pleasurable. Travel all around Nigeria, spend money. As I'm going, you're spending money.
Jide, we can spend 1 or 2 minutes on this recurrent and capital thing.
Yes.
The National Assembly is the heartbeat of the country. It makes laws. Isn't it possible, as we make to bury the subject matter, isn't it possible for that same National Assembly to tweak the laws just so this thing, because you can't do it by fiat.
No, to tweak the law and to achieve what?
Make sure that, capital will take lion's share. It's important.
The thing is, the way the country is structured now, the size of the bureaucracy, there is no way that anybody can by fiat, give capital the lion's share of the budget. It just won't happen because
it cannot.
Unless we do something about the size of the bureaucracy. So, but it's not the National Assembly. It's not the National Assembly that will do that.
When the Italians talked about doing something about their National Assembly,
so maybe about unicameral or something.
See, in Senegal, it was the president that made the proposition, and then he got the backing of his people that the Senate should be scrapped. It was the president's idea, and then the parliament backed him. And then, but what we are even saying, even if you scrap the Senate, you still haven't solved that problem. Even if you scrap the Senate, the size of the bureaucracy, the federal civil servants, so many of them, we are spending so much money to feed a redundant bureaucracy. And we have to address that. Otherwise, every budget cycle, you look at the figure, even at state level, we have the same problem. At state level. So it's something that we have to look at, ask ourselves whether we shouldn't right-size the civil service, for example, across board, not talking about the federal alone, across board. If you right-size the civil service, then you can save some funds that you can then
right-size. When I hear that a governor in one of the South states just appointed how many aides?
But don't mention the state.
I don't know.
Our governors are extremely reckless with spending money.
But it has to do with making sure that you take care of.
And they don't even see, they have no apologies to offer anyone.
No.
You know?
And these people are not on minimum wage or maximum wage. All right, okay. I hear we must move on. Time. You know, still to come, First Lady Aisha Buhari calls for urgent action to protect the girl child against abuse, and Muslim rights group urges federal government to do more to rescue remaining Chibok girls. Quite a lot to discuss. Let's take this breather. We'll be back. Glad to know you're there, but let me quickly report. Bola Olajuwon had been here, and my poor eyes refused to see him.
Oh.
Bola is here. I greet you. Good evening.
Oh, good
Sorry.
evening.
It's getting old.
No, not
it's
like
all
that.
right. Bola, it's okay. No, tell I'm saying self go old.
Yes, so you go
No, because.
You better fear them.
Okay, then. You know, in the light of the nationwide consternation and anxiety that enveloped the country in the last week over the sex for grades thing that happened in the University of Lagos, or UNILAG, First Lady Aisha Buhari, the mother hen, in a manner of speaking, has provoked a shared sense of national consciousness over the issue of sexual harassment against women. She observed, and rightly so, that the menace was not unique to tertiary institutions alone, but is prevalent in the larger Nigerian society, including religious settings. This is it. But let's share this story on the girl child with you. Watch on.
Females in Africa are confronted with many challenges. Many see them as liabilities rather than equal drivers of positive change, and their talents are less celebrated compared to their male counterparts. Some are merely trained to become wives.
Before, my heart was burning hot, but now I am ready for love.
As the world commemorates the 2019 International Day of the Girl Child, the need to protect women and girls against sexual violence and discrimination topped discussions in Nigeria. Wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, on her Twitter handle, also calls for protection of females in the society.
The existence of human life on the earth is impossible without the equal participation of both women and men. They are equally responsible for the survival of the human race on the earth. They are also liable for the development and growth of a nation.
This gathering was organized to sensitize girls on the need to stay focused and become a formidable force in actualizing the girl power dream.
It's about time when we need to start mentoring young girls to understand that there is more to being a woman than just the gender. So we need to start putting girls in forefront of sustainable development. And I'm excited that the United Nations remembers this year as the year that would further propel people, organizations, companies, and everyone at like to put the girl child in the forefront.
We can come together to create initiatives that would create more impact, greater impact. And we will feel this in the economy. And so this Girl Force agenda that Heartminders has put together, I think it's something achievable and something that would be a positive towards economic development.
Men who see girls as mere objects of sexual gratification are charged to turn a new leaf.
For every gentleman, please respect the women, because that is who we are and that is what we deserve. We're not here to compete, we're here to collaborate. Every woman is a nation builder, every woman is a destiny extension, an extensioner, and every woman is a generation that deserves to be preserved.
A girl child is a gift to the nation, and they are all meant to speak out
in any time they are molested.
The International Day of the Girl Child was first celebrated in 2012 after its declaration by the United Nations.
All right, gentlemen, this is it. You've heard that song, Jide. Yes. This is it.
Yes, and Gabriel Okara, the great poet, said, he asked the question, will this be it?
Will this be it? And there's this song in these days. Now, like this, we go the day. Jide.
No, I've not heard that song.
Oh, sound like
now you there?
She not like this, we go the day.
Now like this, we go they go.
The
Like this, we go they go.
Yeah, twist them. But it's relevant. Now, like this, we go they go.
Exactly, that's what we do.
Honestly, when talking about gender-based violence, I see rape as the greatest violence visited on women in our country. I was reading a story earlier in the week in which a 64-year-old man was said to have routinely sexually molested his daughters. And each time those daughters
sorry, in a motion picture?
No, in reality,
in real life.
Happens. It's common these days.
The matter is in court.
Now, each time those daughters of his ask the question, Daddy, why are you doing this to us? He will say, there's nothing wrong about it.
We quote the Bible.
That, that Lot in the Bible was not punished for sleeping with his daughters. So you can imagine how a man who has thoroughly lost it, can imagine how
Jide, but you know, I have a problem here. You say serially.
Serially, every time he wanted it.
Why didn't any of them blow the lead?
He said he will, you see, of course, when it comes to sexually related offenses, more and more people find it difficult to come out and say, look, this is what is happening. I talked about even in the schools, some of the lecturers sexually molesting their students, female students. Some of them are cultists, and these girls fear the consequences of reporting them. So in this case too, when they deny him sex, he will starve them, he will beat them up, you know. So these things happen.
Come on.
So you really, and it's not what you feel comfortable to telling people.
Yes.
You know how it is.
So the stigma.
Yes, you don't want to be stigmatized. So it's a terrible thing. I support Mrs. Fayemin's position, Mrs. Fayemin's position that we have to come up with an unambiguous policy against sexual harassment, against sexual molestation. Because until we do that, this nonsense won't stop. When Uganda came up with death penalty for rape, the incidence of rampant rape came down in their country. Because some people felt that the way to cure HIV was to sleep with virgins. And then they were now spreading the ailment. So the government had to come out with death penalty for rape. I can tell you that rape cases came down in Uganda. Not only did rape cases come down, even the prevalence of HIV/AIDS also came down. So every society deserves the kind of law you get. Yes, we can't watch people sleeping with 4-year-olds, sleeping with 3-year-olds, and then not come up with a law that appropriately deals with them.
You use the word sleep or destroying the life of a minor.
A micro minor.
You are talking about the implications of what they do. I'm talking about what they do exactly. So this is the thing. This is the thing, and this is an opportunity for us this year to. The National Assembly is there. They need to come up with the right laws that protect our people, protect our women. We can't continue to watch people destroying the lives of young women just because they cannot keep their crutches in check.
Bola, you must come in here.
I quietly agree with Titology. You see, from psychological point of view, or a psychiatric point of view, I want to say that those people doing it, they are sick. They are extremely sick.
But sometimes you hear 50-year-old man defiles a 2-year-old child.
See.
You know, how do you start the story?
Yeah. That is what I'm saying.
You can go, you can become demented.
What's attractive in a 2-year-old baby?
The issue is this: those people doing it,
It's
the
madness.
first thing for them to do is to come out and seek help. I'm telling you, it starts from somewhere. The society should look at it beyond it. Say this is a perfect. It is. Let us define it that way. Some people are not caught. Let us encourage them to come out. To voices that I'm having this problem, please, society save me. Without doing this, they will continue to do it. And another thing is to go away.
No, they can be castrated.
Yes, they can be castrated.
So once you are castrated, how do you continue to
No,
do
the
it?
issue is this. We need to start from somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, what if they are not caught? How many people will come out? And then the issue is that people who are suffering it should come out to talk. The guy child, the women who are going through, this problem, they must come out to talk. If they refuse to come out, these people will continue to perpetrate the act.
Charles, in those days, before he started his show, Frank Olize would ask jocularly, do you know where your daughter is? Do you know, in 2019, many parents don't know where their children are.
Yes, that's it. Well,
So parenting.
Parenting is also very key in this matter, because we tend to be subletting or outsourcing parenting to teachers and other caregivers, which is not to be. Even let me
go to creches.
Yes, even as old as I was when I was in class 5, I couldn't sleep outside with my friends, my male friend. I couldn't sleep. There was no way I would do that without explaining to my mommy why I couldn't come to my own bed. That's how it was.
Primary 5, are you?
No, class 5. No, I'm talking about class 5.
Okay,
back in the whole.
5.
Yeah, from 5.
Then you are still a virgin.
You are still young at that time.
At the age of around 16, 17.
We were not sleeping out
16, 17.
secondary school. Boys.
No, you couldn't have.
So
how did you
No,
start?
but that's what I'm saying.
Where your
explain it?
parents are teachers?
Good. So how do you explain it? What
Your
question
own
is that what happened
bad.
to your own bed?
Oh, beat the hell out of me.
So you couldn't explain it. But you see, one thing in resolving this issue, there's another very critical area we must look at. I was listening to when Bola was talking. The area of stigmatization. I give an example. There was even another man that was found to be sleeping with the daughters. Each time they reported to their mother would be the first to flog them, to say, it's a lie. How can my husband do this to you? Even their own mother did not believe them.
When people go to police station to report rape cases, they ridicule them.
They ridicule, exactly. So if your own
silly
mother...
question.
Silly question.
Are you saying you didn't enjoy it?
Oh, well, how did it happen? So the question is, Jones.
You two, what were you looking for?
If your mother...
The issue of describing the private part of the person that raped you.
If your mother could not believe you, who would? If your mother couldn't, who would? So is it that people outside who are saying, oh, and when you do it, as you are going out, people are looking at you, you understand? So the stigmatization itself will not also allow us to be able to drive this through. So if we begin to...
Once you come out to say it, this happened to you, more and more people get to know.
Yes.
So people prefer to rather die in silence
which
than
is
let it out and risk everyone in the neighborhood getting to know that it has happened. So this is
which is what gets to me. I mean, until a lead is blown somewhere, all other leads that were shut or closed will come out.
Okay.
Too late in the day.
Okay. How about this sex for man that is trending now? Okay. Now a university lecturer, whether it's VC, I can't recall now, even said that the lecturer should not be blamed. That most of these girls, they are after, that's a new test, STDs. Sexually transmitted disease, degrees, that it is the lady themselves that come to even lecture.
Many of them,
but again,
because they can't pass.
But is that a reason? Is that a reason to condone such things? That's not a reason.
Judy, it's a two-way street. My people say, why do they talk to that? Is it the hawk or the where they steal chicken? You must talk to the mama of the chicken.
To be careful. Yeah, exactly.
So you must talk to the mama of the chicken. This is it. Let's talk about it. So where do we go from here? Now the thing is in the open.
The truth is, we can't allow Nigeria to become like India, where every second of the day someone gets raped. India is seen as the rape capital of the world. Or even Congo, the war-torn Congo.
Yeah, the DRO. Every
time boys and girls are being raped, we can't allow our country to degenerate to that level, because if we get to that level, we won't be able to manage it. So we must do all within our means to make punishment for perpetrators of these sexual crimes such that it will deter them, deter others.
Hopefully.
Yes. We can't, if we don't do that, if our laws, if the punishment for rape continues to be like a slap in the wrist,
so,
these people will not stop. Yes. And many families too, once someone is put on trial for rape, you see the two families will come together, they will agree to settle out of court. It should not be happening. The state should take over every rape case. Yes. So if you want to settle out of court, go to the state. Go to the state. Go and deal with the state. Yeah. We just have to do something about this.
Bola, you know, I read with consternation when Nigerians say, oh, Paul Kagame is doing this in Rwanda. None of them will remember to tell you that Kagame is a benevolent dictator. Yes. The man became dictatorial. Yes. Are we ready? Are we ready? If we want us to be like Rwanda.
Oh, no, we are not ready. You should also remember that what is the population of Rwanda and what is...
Well, so population 9 be the wahala?
Yes.
It's also part of it.
It's also part of it.
It's also part of it.
Then
ethnic backgrounds.
The background. Then they are very, we are not homogeneous. They are more homogeneous. How many tribes do they have there?
They have Hutus and Tutsis.
And Tutsis. Okay,
but we have over 500 here in Nigeria.
And aside that, what about the millions?
Where do you start from?
Where do you start from? Then the issue is this, please. Parents must know that the society is becoming so critical, not only critical, difficult. They must look after their children and their wards. Take care of them, ask questions. If you see any child behaving somehow, ask questions.
We must not stop. We must not stop questioning things.
Questioning things. The way children do, the way they walk, the way they talk, how they cry.
What they wear.
What they wear.
And how mothers dress their girl children.
Yes, that's
No, please, we must go there. It starts from there.
What of father?
No. Talk about the mother.
The mothers. Also,
the way you dress your girl child.
You also know that with the situation at hand.
And then you hear tame and lame things like if you dress anyhow and so on. Come on, in a society like this?
No. We must try and stop it. We must try and stop it. People must continue to talk. The law must, be difficult to tell them to deal with perpetrators.
Just, this is, the Nigerian thing. We talk about the Nigerian factor. Can we deal with it? The Nigerian factor in dealing with everything. You start something, you are dictatorial, blah, blah, and so on.
Well, the Nigerian factor was, it remains a man's creation. The man who created it, man must also solve it. Once that factor begins to bounce back and it begins to do us in, we will need to now sit down to look at the way for us to remove that factor from our midst. Because the color of blood that flows in our veins is not different from the color that flows in the blood of the one that you mentioned now. It's just a matter of having that political will and also accepting that indeed we have got to a crossroad where we must take a decisive action against certain things that are abnormal.
So we are talking about choices now, the choices we make from this point.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, for instance, you're talking about parenting. What happens? How about a mother is going to work, the father is going to work, they won't come back until 11 p.m. Their 5-year-old child is the one that's taking care of the other little one. Then in between, the light bulb will blow. Then they call an electrician to go to their house. Aduke will open the door for you. And the electrician. So all these things we also look at.
Come on.
So then the Aduke gets in there, my electrician buys maybe a sausage road for the person, it continues, I put Aduke on his lap, or Aduke is lap. So all these things are also there. So it's a whole, lot of
many people are mentally, many of us are mentally sick.
A child that is 5 years old is taking care of
a lot of retarded people walking on the streets of Nigeria.
We only wear clothes.
You know? And then you find when you go to the street, you find even girls who were also ill brought up. Okay, they get pregnant, they give birth. They are also putting that into the system.
And parents admit them.
Oh, have you not heard of a
parents admit?
I know of a girl of 14 years old.
The daughter comes home with a pregnancy.
Okay, that's not
she's nursed.
14 years old girl, Jones, took in, not knowing the father. They did naming ceremony. Kill goat for her in her father's house.
Block the street. All right. So I hear we must go. Jide, our job here is to rake the issues, put them on the front burner. I think we don't do it.
We don't try our best, but the law must change.
Yeah,
if you can see now, anybody carrying narcotics, they dread going to Malaysia, they dread going to even China, because they know if they are caught, it is death.
Except here.
In our own country, we are so wide open. We are so wide open. So the laws, if we come up with the right laws, we'll be able to address some of these problems.
All right. Only that man was not made for laws. Laws were made for man. Bola Olajuwon, thank you very kindly. Enjoy your weekend if you can.
Yes, thank you. I will do that.
But if you cannot, forget it. Charles Ideho, many thanks for your time.
You've been telling me this for how long? We have not weekend. There was a time he told me. No, he told me.
Listen, you are a Christian. You are a religious man.
He said I should go to one restaurant and send the bill to you.
I am Hussein. He told me. All right, Baba Jude.
No, we found him out already, so no, leave him.
Wait, let me call him BKO. Thank you for coming.
I agree too.
Our job is done. Okay, if you missed any part of this, you may also watch the program on other platforms. We'll show you on the screen. And on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel remains the same. And so on behalf of the Backroom Boys, I want to thank you exceedingly. But please think Nigeria. Think Nigeria. Good night.